Do you have anything to say, mister? Got a little fur baby down here, and he likes to chew on anything and everything. So let's hope. Oh, I didn't shave. Let's not put my legs up there. All right. Well, I just wanted to come on here and thank everyone for all the support and the feedback that I've gotten recently. It's been overwhelming and I love it. And I wasn't really expecting anything from the podcast. I kind of just wanted to do it as like a hobby. It's fun for me. I like editing videos. I like talking to people. I like drinking coffee and wine. So why not? But it's been going really good. The feedback that I've been getting has been really good. I'm glad that a lot of you guys are enjoying it. And for those that aren't, you don't have to follow me. It's fine. It's not for everybody, but for those that are enjoying it, I'm thankful, and I hope you continue to enjoy. The reason why I started this, as you've seen with other videos, I really like to share people's stories. I think every person that I have met has a very unique story to share. It really just shows, like, not everybody's perfect. And some people, whether you think it or not, or whether you have met them or known them for a while and you didn't realize that they were going through something during this time and they just like put up a good front, or maybe, they did show that they were going through something. I just think it's nice to kind of get a perspective of you're not the only one struggling out there with whatever it is. And it's also nice to share those challenges as well as your, what is it called? Like your awards, your winnings, your things that you should be blessed for. I thought that I would come on here and share my story. I've noticed a lot. It kind of was like thinking during my podcast, I was like, well, I'm making everyone, not making, but everyone sharing their story. I guess I should share my story too, just so you guys can kind of get the gist of everything. But so I just wanted to come on here and kind of share my story. Hopefully it can resonate with you. And if it doesn't, hopefully it can just motivate you, inspire you, and just kind of see life in a different perspective. I'm not saying that I've had a horrible life or a wonderful life or whatever. Just if you enjoy my podcast, you enjoy it and take it with whatever direction you want to take it with, whether it's motivating you, inspiring you, or you just want to be a little chismosa and listen, that's fine. And whether you like me and want to, like be interested and invested in my story podcast, great. And if you don't, but you're still invested, it's fine. I just hope it touches, the right people that it needs to touch. I also, doing this podcast, I realized I talk with my hands a lot, and I say like a lot, and I need to really work on that. So we're going to be working on it. So yeah, a little bit about me. Well, I guess we'll just start from the very beginning of everything. I got pregnant at the age of 16. I was a junior in high school when I got pregnant. And I remember seeing the pregnancy test and I was like, I kid you not, like, I feel like I saw a flash of my whole life. Like, whoa, this is it. Like, you're done with high school. You're not graduating. You're just going to be like a stay-at-home mom, and this is your path that you took, and it is what it is. I was terrified. I was scared. There was a lot of learning curves and challenges that happened during those, like during pregnancy and maybe like 5 years after that. I would say it was probably one of the most challenging obstacles that I have gone through in my whole entire life. And out of respect for my son and his father, I will not be speaking too much on that, but I will say that we were very young and very immature and a very toxic environment for our son, and I'm glad. It took a lot to get where we're at now, a lot of time and a lot of work, but I'm very thankful that we are where we are for the sake of our son, with a good relationship and just understanding that we were young, toxic environment. I didn't want my son growing up with that or seeing that. So I'm very thankful that we're out of that. How do I say it? Like, we've overcame that obstacle. But I will say it was one of the hardest things that I've gone through, and being pregnant in high school is was interesting. But I do remember when I had found out that I was pregnant. There is a counselor that was there in school, and I remember walking into his office and telling him, okay, like, I'm ready to go to Palisades. Palisades is the continuing education school here in our town. And he kind of like looked at me puzzled, and he was like, what? Like, you don't get to choose to just go. Like, those are, you go because you need help, or because you're struggling in school, because you're kind of on the verge of, like, not graduating or dropping out or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm pregnant, so. And he's like, so. And I'm like, so I have to go. And he's like, no, you don't. You could be pregnant and be in high school and continue like a normal person. And I remember thinking at that time, well, I just don't want people to know that I'm pregnant. And I really thought that I could get away with, like, being in this small town and like getting away with, like, no one's going to find out that I'm pregnant. I'm just going to, sneakingly, yeah, right. No. So anyways, he was like, it's not going to happen. I give him a lot of kudos. I wish I kind of knew where he was at, because my whole mind just kind of changed at that point, how I viewed the world, because I was pregnant. I'm bringing a child into this world. You can't just think for yourself anymore. And that's so hard at the age of 16. I mean, some people 25, 26 are still like, so really growing up at that age was huge. And I was having conversations with, like, my counselors, with my teachers who were in their midlife, and saying, we've been trying to have kids. Like, that's crazy. A 16-year-old is pregnant, and it is crazy. It's crazy. To really connect with a lot of adults at that time when everything was happening because of that, like, just connecting with I can't have babies, you have a baby, and, like, tell us what you're going through, what your struggles are, and just them really feeling for me. In that time, try to work it out with dad, and then graduated high school and didn't work out, and we decided to go our separate ways. I had came back to my mom's house because I was living with dad for the time being. My mom, I love you, Mom. If you ever see this, I love you very much, and you are top tier. But at that time was like, well, you got your big girl pants on. Now you're going to learn how to be a big girl, So I was kicked out of the house and was told, you have to go learn how to be a mom. And so obviously things didn't work out. I remember coming home and I told my mom, like, it's not going to work out for the sanity of myself and my son. Like, I have to come back. And I remember having this conversation with my mom several times, and she was like, nope, you're not, like, allowed to come back. And that time where things got just really bad, I remember coming home and I was like, well, it's either we're coming back or we're going to be homeless. And that's me and your grandson. So I kind of threatened my mom there. Sorry, but had to happen. And now look at us now. But anyways, so yeah, I came back to my mom's house, and her condition was, because I was just graduating high school, didn't have a job, was trying to go to college. Her only terms for me was that if I wanted to live in that house without, like, paying rent or whatever, then I would have to go to school. And just as long as I go to school, then, you're good without, like, paying rent. So that's honestly what really kept me through school. And so I decided to go from when I graduated high school until, yeah, almost like 10, 10 years. I was basically going to school full time, Monday through Thursday. And then I was working on the weekends to pay for, like my car, for hobby stuff and all these things. I was working Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So my whole schedule since I graduated high school until basically when I graduated nursing school, which was like 9 years later, was Monday through Thursday school full time, and then part time at a restaurant job where I can have some extra money to pay for my car bills, my phone bills, and stuff like that. It was something that a degree that should have taken anywhere from 2 to 4 years to complete because of obviously like being a mom and financial situations. I ended up my time for schooling took basically double that. So I ended up it was 8 years in total. Hello, sir. He wants to be part of the podcast. Going through nursing school was the second hardest thing that I've done in my life, because if you are or have done nursing school, you know that is not an easy task. Like, just simply one, getting in is so freaking challenging, and then when you're in, you're really, really, really tested. And I'm not that intelligent. Like, I'm not the person that can read a page and it's in my head for the rest of my life and I can understand questions. Like, I am a C girl in high school, where I was pregnant in high school. I basically blacked out those last 2 years of high school. And so for me to actually understand things, it took me like double the work. I had to study all day, all night. I remember at one point in my life, I was getting up at like 3, 4 in the morning because I wanted to get my workout in. And so I would be at the gym by 5 so I can be good to go by 6, get ready, and then go to my class that started at 7. And I was in class because of lab and all that stuff. I was studying and all this stuff, and it's in Santa Rosa, which, I can't just easily come home, take a little break, come home, take a nap, and then go. No. It's like, if I was out there, I had to be out there all day. So it was like 7 a.m. And then sometimes I wouldn't come home until 7 p.m. till 8 p.m., depending on studies, or like if I was studying or I had a late class that day. And then I did that almost like Monday through Thursday. And then I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so there was a time that I got in my life where I remember having this conversation with my mom where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I think it was like before I got into the nursing program, there was actually 2 times. One, there was a class anatomy that I was really struggling with, and I failed it the first time. And so I had to retake it. And then the teacher was very, very hard. And I remember coming home from a test that if I didn't pass that test, I wouldn't pass the class at all. And so I forgot what the rules were at that time, that like if you fail twice, I don't know. Basically, it could have been like the end of my nursing career or dream. And so I remember coming home and I told my mom, like, what's the point? I'm putting in all this work just to fail a freaking test, and them telling me that I'm not good enough because I can't even read a freaking question because my brain just is not like that. Like, I have to break down the question. Like, people that took like regular, like I'm forgetting the TEAS test and the state exam test. Things that were so simple, like English and history, were so hard for me because I couldn't like break down the question. And so many people were like, you're overthinking it. But then if I didn't overthink it, then it was like a big ordeal. So I remember having that conversation with my mom, and, she was like, well, if you quit, you're going to have to stay, you're going to have to get a job and be in the restaurant for the rest of your life, when you could just try to keep going. And, if you fail, then you fail. But at least if you just quit now, how are you going to know? So I remember I hustled my booty that year, and it was probably one of the hardest years that I've had because I just felt like a horrible mom. I feel like I was studying all day and all night, and my whole focus was like school. And luckily my son was at a young age where I hope he doesn't really remember much of like me just studying and being not like so present. I wish I could be home and like, taking him out. I tried the times that I did have, but the priority was kind of like studying and studying and studying. And so I ended up passing the class. And after that, it was just kind of like, okay, now it's time to get into the program. Once I got into once I started applying, of course, I didn't hear back. And that was another downfall because I was like, I think it took me like, after I was done with my prerequisites, it took me about almost like a year and a half to get into the program. And so I was trying, I was talking to the counselors, and they were like, because you had like C's here and there, try to work on these and maybe it'll help you get in. So that's kind of what I was focusing on. But I had been denied to the nursing program twice. I was denied twice, and that was that time where I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I'm not going to keep waiting year by year to get into a program, and I'm not even guaranteed. Most of the programs are lottery system anyway. So I had gone through another thing where I was like, maybe I need to change my career. Maybe nursing really isn't. And then I got into the nursing program. I remember I was in England with Chris and Javi, and I got the email that said, oh my God, relax, don't cry. I remember I got the email that said, congratulations, see you in the fall 20 whatever, 2017 for the nursing program. And I was like, I kid you not, I cried. I like literally cried, and I hugged Chris so freaking hard because I was like, oh my God, like this was one of the biggest challenges that I had to like overcome. Multiple freaking obstacles, falls, cries, laughters, all this stuff. And then I got in, and that was like a whole new chapter in my life. Whole new chapter. I got to meet so many amazing people like during my prerequisite life. All the people that I studied with in like anatomy, science classes, you really get to like, meet these people. And then nursing program, I got to meet a whole new crew of like amazing individuals. And you're spending a lot of time with, you're doing clinicals, you're waking up super early with them, you're failing classes, you're struggling, you're doing everything. And that was another one where I remember my first nursing class that I had, the first, very, very first exam. The exams aren't like your regular college exams where if you get a C or like 79 or whatever it is, 75, you pass the class. No, nursing is very different. It's like you have to, I don't know what it is now, but at the time I think it was like you had to have like an 88 or 89% and above to pass the class. And I think it was the same with the test. So it was like there's no room for C's. It was just A or B or you don't pass. And it was a strict, like, I think you get like 2 chances and then you get kicked out of the program. So I remember the test, and I think I got like a C. It was like 2 or 3 points below what I needed to get. And I remember this instructor, she like pulled me to the office and was like, if they can help you with anything. And I remember her like, why, like being so like passive aggressive, I don't know, or being mean. I just like think about it now that I'm like 6 years into nursing. Like I just don't understand what's the purpose of being mean and coming off like that. But anyways, I just remember her being like, why don't you understand this? Like what's so hard to understand this? And I'm like, well, I don't know. That like you tell me. And I remember her telling me, you know what? I don't think that nursing is going to be a good fit for you. I think that you should find a new career because if you can't even pass this exam, you're going to like fail everything. I left that day crying. And then that was the second time that teacher made me cry, like, because they told me verbally, like, you need to look for another career because you're not fit enough for this based off one exam. And then the first time was my anatomy teacher who I went for help because I was like, this is my second time taking your class and I really need a pass and I'm trying, like I'm doing 12 hours, like study sessions. Can you help me like pass your class? And he had opened the door like this and was talking to me. Like, he didn't even let me come inside. He was like, what do you want? And I told him that. And he was like, it's not a big deal. You're either going to pass it or you don't. All right. That's that. Shut the door. And I cried that day too, because I was like, damn, like some people really are trying, you know? Anyways, so she told me that. And then I was like, no, I'm going to keep busting my butt. I worked so hard to get here. So, um, yeah, I ended up like barely passing most of those tests, but I did end up passing them. And after that was fine. Clinicals was pretty challenging just because you don't know a lot that you're doing in nursing school. Unfortunately, you're like learning how to pass a test and not so much hands-on. Graduated, got my associates in nursing, and then I did my bachelor's online. That was pretty good. I got a job at a clinic by September, October. So it took me almost 3 months to get a job. And that's pretty challenging too. And then that was the third time that someone had told me that I was not good enough to, again, be a nurse. And it's funny because it's all these people that barely like got to meet me firsthand. And you have such a quick judgment to tell someone that you're not fit for this career. It's just, it baffles me. But yeah, I went to, I'm not going to say the name of the hospital, but I went for an interview, and it was for a new grad ICU interview. I had this interview and it's going great. I was fit for everything. She told me I looked great. We're having this conversation. And I don't know what it was. I think she asked me, what did she ask me? I think she asked me, like, what's your previous experience? So it was like an ICU. I can't remember if it was new grad or not, but I was like, let me just get my foot in the door no matter what. And I remember, I think she asked me like what my experience was, and I told her I was a new grad. Like, I'm a new grad looking for experience, and I know that you guys do new grad. Oh God, hopefully you guys don't realize what hospital this is. But anyways, yeah, long story short, she basically ended up telling me like, oh, no. You're a new grad. No. You have to start from the bottom. You have to find your, like, so then she brought up her story, and she was saying, I started as a CNA, and then I worked my way up. And from CNA, I went to a SNFs, like nursing facility. Then you work at a nursing facility. So this is how you do it. Okay. So you start off a CNA. And I'm like, I already graduated. I don't need to be a CNA. And then she was like, well, then you have to find a job at a nursing facility. Once you get comfortable with that, then you come and could get like, come and apply to new grad jobs or whatever. And then I was like, what? Like, everything was going great up until you asked me that if I was like a new grad or not. I was so confused. And then she was like, yeah, so, yeah, just once you're done getting your experience, then you can come here. All right. All right, bye. And like, I also was like very excited because it was my first like interview at a hospital. And so, for her to tell me that, I think there was more context to it, but I can't really remember. Honestly, it probably, trauma response, you want to block it off. But yeah, I remember I left that day and I was crying in my car because I was like, wow, here I thought I might have gotten a job for ICU, and instead you told me to basically fuck off and get, start where I started, start from the bottom. But it's like, again, you don't tell that to people, but whatever. Anyways, moving forward, got a job at a clinic, learned a lot. It was a bilingual clinic too. Got to meet some cool people there too. And then I started my new grad job a year later at another hospital. And then I worked my way up to be where I am now, which is my dream job. It's not, I always said I wanted to be like an OB nurse. It's not going to happen, at least not right now. Maybe later on in the future. I'm comfortable and I'm happy where I'm at. Like, I really like my schedule. I really like my coworkers. I am very blessed and thankful to be where I'm at in my life. So it was not easy. I know that I'm just giving you the gist of it. There was a lot of cries, a lot of times that I wanted to give up. And I got to meet a lot of amazing people that were kind of going through the same situation as me. I worked very hard for it, and now I have the time to do what I want to do, what I always wanted to do, which is like hobbies and things like that. And I started doing cosmetic injections just as a side, again, just a little hobby. I like to keep busy, and that's just what I do. So um, if you are in that situation where either you're getting into school, you're doing your prerequisites, or you're in nursing school and this is what you want to do, I would say keep doing it. Don't listen to anybody that tells you otherwise, that you're not capable of, based off an exam, based off a little mistake, or whatever. If you really want to be a nurse and you're putting in your work and you're showing even things that you can't even do, that alone goes a long way. A long way. So don't listen to anybody that tells you otherwise. Keep working your butt off. If that exam fails, keep doing it, keep trying. If that nursing school does not accept you, keep doing, keep going. I would say if you can keep doing like other classes at that time, if you can improve on another grade, or if you can be working towards like, okay, if career, if the nursing career isn't like one of my choices, what's your second choice? Work on those like classes in the meantime, because I always told myself, I know that if I take a break from school, it's going to be so hard for me to come back. So even during summer, I took a CNA class before I got into the nursing program, because I didn't want to lose my flow of my like routine, school routine. So I would say keep going at it. Don't freaking listen to anybody that tells you you're not good enough. You are good enough. You will always be good enough if that is what you really want to do. If that is what your dream goal is, you will get it, and you will do anything it takes to get there. Don't let them get in your head, because it's not true. I'm telling you, I didn't pass some classes. I was a C person. I was freaking pregnant in high school, and I was able to do it. And I told you, I'm one of those that needs like to really look at a question, and I was able to do it. So I feel like many other people can do it, if you really put your heart to it. So I would say that's one thing. Oh yeah, and then just take care of yourself. Whether you have kids or you don't. For me, my biggest thing was mom guilt a lot. Like I said, I always felt really bad that I was studying and not being able to like do these things with my son. I would say if you are at that time in your life, probably being off social media would be like my best recommendation for you, because that's where you see everyone having fun, everyone enjoying summer, everyone doing this. Probably take a break from that, just so you can really tune in and lock in into studying or doing this. Remember, it's all temporary. All of this is temporary, like the studying, the hard work, all of that, like literally, I say 8 years, but it flew by like this, like it it's temporary, and it's a temporary pain that's going to give you a long lasting like fulfillment. So I busted my ass off for 8 years, and I know many other people did. 8 years, 4 years, whatever your timeline is, you bust your booty off for 8 years, and then the rest is yours. The rest of your lifetime is yours that you get to enjoy, or depending on whatever career or dream you have. But in that moment, in that time that you're struggling, that you're like, I can't do this exam, I can't do this anymore, I can't, just remember that it's temporary. Same with like you can put that in anything, even fitness. Like in that moment that you're struggling or you're really going through it, you feel like you can't, just remember pain is all temporary. Pain is temporary. And some of the things that also got me through a lot was a lot of motivational videos. When I was really like down pretty bad, I remember watching or hearing a lot of motivational videos, and not trying to be like, how do I say it? Like, find videos that are going to make you feel bad, but like videos that are really going to motivate you to be like, again, this is temporary. Like, don't be a little wussy. Like, you need a little bit of tough love. And so those were kind of my videos, because I really needed a push at that time. Someone to kind of yell at me and be like, so I will link the video that till this day I still look at. It makes me cry because it was videos that I had watched. I'm really good at like trying not to cry, so I will not break. I promise. I will link the video, but there's one video I'm forgetting his name. I think it's like Mike something, but his video really resonated with me at that time, and it just holds a special place because I think that was the time that I really wanted to give up, and I would put that on repeat when I was driving to school, exhausted, 5, 6 in the morning. Or like during a difficult test, even in nursing school, like I would put that video and it was just like that reminder, like you're gonna be okay. And I can tell you that you are going to be okay. And at the end, it will all be worth it. It really will. Your hard work, regardless of whatever you're like doing with, like whatever your goal is, whether it's school, fitness, whatever you're working towards. And if you feel like it's really hard right now, you will get over it. You will. And then you're going to look back and you're going to be like, damn, I freaking got through that. And I am beyond proud of myself, beyond proud of myself. And I think that that's the biggest like reward that you can get with whatever whatever you're trying to achieve, whether it's career, fitness, relationship, just have that in your mind. Anyways, that's kind of my story with that.